India's Home Ministry has decided to create 5 new districts in the Union Territory of Ladakh. The 5 new districts are Zanskar, Dras, Sham, Nubra and Changtang. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote, "The creation of 5 new districts in Ladakh is a step towards better governance and prosperity. Zanskar, Dras, Sham, Nubra and Changtang will now receive more focused attention, bringing services and opportunities even closer to the people. Congratulations to the people there." Home Minister Amit Shah earlier said that the Modi government is committed to creating abundant opportunities for the people of Ladakh. Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated and Ladakh was created as a union territory, a new one, on October 31st, 2019. And Arun Sharma is also joining us with more on the story, and so is Muzaffar Wani, who is joining us from Ladakh. Arun, let me come to you first. Give us, some background to this decision of creating the new districts in Ladakh.
Good afternoon, Mark. Well, if you recall 2019, when abrogation of Article 370 was done, 2 UTs were created out of Jammu and Kashmir. One was J&K with the legislature, and another one was Ladakh without legislature. So, this was the demand of that time that, the Ladakh UT has to be created without legislature. But now, now basically, because the development needs to be done, development has to be inclusive in nature. Now, 5 districts have been created that primarily empowers, the citizen of the people of Ladakh. And of course, importantly, more administrative power in Ladakh means that inclusive development can be done. Just for an example, Mark, development means different things for different people. Now, for instance, people of Nubra Valley, and of course, people of Zanskar, for them, development means that you need to create good roads because these two are important tourist destinations. If you move towards Shams, the requirement of development is in such a manner that, you have to preserve the monasteries. You have to, give more, better connectivity here because, culturally, places like Sham and of course Zanskar are very much important. When you talk about Dras, you need to create more strategically important infrastructure because since it's a place where there are army bases, and this Dras played an important role during the Kargil war as well. Now, moving to Changtang, we know this fact that even today, various ancient tribes, the ancestor of various, ancestral, lineages are here. Various tribes live here, and to preserve these tribes are the priority of the government, and therefore development for these areas are different. So that's the reason 5 districts have been created by the government. This will ensure that how can development, which means different things, different for various places in Ladakh, because Ladakh is very diverse in nature, and therefore these 5 districts have been created because development means different things for different people. And therefore, this decision is considered to be very inclusive in nature, and this will empower the people of Ladakh and, of course, give more administrative power to people of Ladakh. When center releases the fund, they can utilize these funds for their own development according to their aspirations going forward.
We'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Arun Sharma, for joining us. Let me go across to Muzaffar Wani now. Tell us a little bit about how this is going to help in the administration of Ladakh, Muzaffar.
Yeah, this is actually quite a significant event, and many organizations and civil societies were demanding the status of a district, particularly for Zanskar and Nubra. And now with this decision, including 3 more districts in this, is going to help the people in the remotest areas as well. And from the perspective of inclusive development and their participation in hill councils, this is going to be a significant decision, and this is going to help the people in the remotest areas as well, because now they can find their voice if the new hill councils are established where they can put up their issues and talk about their grievances. Particularly, this is important from the point of health facilities, because the distance from Leh can range up to 300 kilometers to the remotest areas. and people had to face difficulties coming back to Leh for availing medical services owing to difficult terrain and the limited transportation here. This decision is definitely going to help them, and the indicators of the development are going to reach their doorsteps.
Right. Muzaffar, stay with us. We are joined by Mr. Alok Bansal, Director of the India Foundation, who is joining us from Hyderabad. Captain Bansal, you put this into strategic context for us because, after all, Ladakh, you know, is a frontier area, it's a border area, and obviously has sensitive, you know, dimensions to it.
See, firstly, we need to understand that in Ladakh, different areas have different requirements. Now, what had happened was the Leh city was getting overcrowded. And as a result, there was actually a movement for sixth schedule and other issues where they didn't want outsiders. But at the same time, the bordering regions like Chungthang, Nubra, etc., there was a huge need for infrastructural development and infusion of funds. Now, by dividing it into different districts, the developmental funds which were getting diverted only to Kargil and Leh will get diversified and will move to these areas. Because as of now, what had happened was that Ladakh being a union territory, most of the funds were going to Leh Hill Development Council and Kargil Hill Development Council. Now, if we have 5 different more districts, there will be development in all 5 districts. Especially areas like Chungthang, Nubra, they immensely required funds because these have bordering villages which are getting, people are migrating from there because there are no employment avenues. Now with the new districts being created, we will be in a position to create infrastructural development, build up infrastructure for tourism, which has actually increased many folds in recent years, but bulk of the tourists only go to a few fixed places and get back. So now if we develop these tourist districts separately and focused development of these districts, these will create a lot of infrastructural development and employment avenues. Now, from the point of view of geostrategy, Chungthang will have areas which are under Chinese occupation at this moment, and Nubra would also probably extend beyond to Baltistan and other areas which are occupied by Pakistan. So whatever happens here would be an ideal showcase for other side also. People across the line of control would also be able to see how things are panning out in India, because there has been an aspiration within Gilgit-Baltistan that they are not getting due funds or are not having due say in the administration of their territories.
Muzaffar, put into context for us, you know, the importance of funds for these areas, especially also since, you know, Ladakh is ecologically sensitive as well, and you know, development also has to be done in a, you know, very environmentally friendly way.
Yeah, before it was made a union territory in 2019, there was this apprehension among the people that the funds are not being utilized properly, and the major chunk of it used to go to the other places. But with the establishment of the 2 hill councils here, there has been adequate funds available with the councils that are utilized for the development of the region. And now with new districts coming, there will be the impact of the development will be more, since reach will be more. And if the new hill councils are established, then the utilization of funds will be at grassroots level, and there will be machinery and the district administration looking after the developmental initiatives in far and wide areas, so that the funds are utilized better for the inclusive development. And there are other projects including geothermal energy that is being harnessed from this place, and solar energy. There are projects undergoing under these initiatives. So they will be much refined, and there will be the progress in the remotest areas, and the district administration can look upon such progress.
Mr. Bansal, how does you know, this decision help in building the nationalistic character as well in Ladakh, and also preserving the ethnic identities of different peoples in Ladakh?
See, firstly, there are different tribes in different parts of Ladakh, and I think firstly they get to maintain their autonomous status. More importantly, what was happening was that the city of Leh was getting overcrowded, and almost all infrastructure that was being given to UT of Ladakh was coming between Leh and Kargil, the two major urban centers. What is required is that we need to have a development which needs to be spaced out. Probably in due course, we also need to create two cantonments, maybe in Leh and maybe at some other place. We can create 2 or 3 cantonments, because army is a very big component of the as far as the habitation of Ladakh is concerned. There is a large chunk of our troops who are deployed there. And I think if we can improve their living standards, it will be much better. So that's one part. But more importantly, as he brought out, as and when the new hill development councils are created, then you will be in a position to have focused development. Focused development of Chongthang, focused development of Nubra, focused development of Sham, Zanskar. It is actually such a beautiful place, but back of beyond. Now, Zanskar needs to develop. So all these things will happen. Dras, Zanskar, because till now the focus was only on Leh and Kargil. So this dispersal would create a greater development, and I think there'll be a greater, because each district has its own peculiar requirements. Based on that, they would be able to frame policies to suit their own requirements.
Muzaffar, can you give us, an assessment of how people have reacted, how have they welcomed this decision?
Yeah, there is quite a lot of excitement among the people, since this was a long pending demand of the people for only the twin districts, but this came as a bonus, the 3 districts. All the people I talked to from the morning, they were quite positive about this thing and expressed hope and happiness that now that development will reach the doorsteps of the people, and people living in far-off areas won't have to suffer for availing the different services, particularly related to education and health services. So these districts will definitely play a role in developing the tourism, sustainable development, and the other betterment of the forest regions, since it is also strategically important. The Nubra subdivision borders with Pakistan, and the Changthang subdivision borders with Tibet region of China. So this overall it will be a better coordination between different departments and forces, and that will be good for the overall development of the region.
Muzaffar Wani and Captain Alok Bansal, thank you very much for putting this into context for us.